This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Checking the microphones, going good.
20th of August, 2020. This is the 217 Recovery Podcast. My name is Corey Winfield. Joining me in the studio once again, Marnie Liston. Marnie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing well. Actually, I don't feel too well, but it's not COVID.
Hopefully.
So, yeah, I'll be all right. So we got a couple things we're going to talk about tonight. One of the things we can start with this, or we can finish it later. You want to talk about what just happened in the bedroom? Okay, well, we'll save that for later, and it's probably not what you're thinking, but I do want to talk about that. But we're going to review a movie called Backcountry, not Bat, but Backcountry, and we'll do that, I guess, in a minute, but we'll do that next, okay? But first, I want to talk about an email I got. Actually, I got a couple emails. One from a woman named Jill, and she is an author, and she wants to be on the podcast, so I was like, sure. And she talks about all kinds of behavioral health kind of things, like mental health and stuff like that goes hand in hand with addiction and recovery. So probably early next week, we'll speak with Jill, and it'll be a good time.
Where's Jill from?
She Mountain Time. So she's available on Mountain Time, so somewhere out west.
Excellent.
Of Michigan. So yeah, looking forward to that. She wrote me. She's like, "Hey, love the podcast, blah blah." And she sends that to everybody, I'm sure. Like, "Hey, really love what you're doing a great job. Come be on your podcast, promote my book."
Hey, why not?
Yeah, and like I said, not everybody I jump on, but this, the things that she talks about, and I listened to a little bit of the stuff that she had done, and like, yeah, that's definitely like up our alley and something that people who listen to this podcast can tune in and go, yeah, I'm digging that. So yeah, excited about that. And then another email came through. Oh, who was that from? It was from the Addiction Policy Forum. And they sent me a link to a guide to help families navigate through treatment and addiction. So, I just had a lady reach out again the other day, and this kind of thing, I think, is what people who are just getting into, like, okay, my husband has a problem, my wife has a problem, girl, whatever, son has a problem, and I don't know what to do. I tried typing into Google treatment centers, and I don't know who I'm talking to, and that's just the last place you need to start. But this kind of helps you go through that, and you can get the guide. It's on our website. I just put it up at 217recovery.com/resources. It'll take you right to the page, and it's in yellow, and it'll say navigation guide to treating addiction and whatever.
A link?
Yeah, it's yellow.
Okay.
Yeah, just click that, and it'll take you right to the page where you need to go, and you can download it. You can print it, just so you have it if you need it.
That's a good tool.
Yeah, it is. And then it came through earlier. I was like, oh, man, I got to get that up and talk about that and make sure people know. So, I really want to get into Backcountry, the review of that movie. But I also want to get to how I was feeling today. And, some of the conversations that we had earlier. And, well, we'll just do that right now then, I guess. Because I had said to you, I just felt unproductive again today. And I feel this way often. And not that you mind me sharing with you, how my day went and how I'm feeling. Because I think it's very important to, have somebody that, I do, in you, that I can trust and talk to and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling today. But you're just kind of like, man, you just say this every day and you actually get stuff done, but you don't realize it yourself. And, but we had a good talk though about it, and it really kind of opened my eyes to making lists again, not just on my phone, because it's easy to add it in your phone and then you close your phone and I set it down and I walk away, but actually wake up, come to the office, make the list out, write it out, old school like I used to, and cross them off, and that way, like you said, when, at least when I'm feeling that way of, man, I didn't do anything today, I can look at that list and go, yeah, you did. Because when I put it in my phone and I get done with it, I just erase it, so I don't see the.
I know there's something about scratching something off your list that just, it fulfills you.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that, I believe in God, I trust God, and at the same time, I want to control it myself, and I want to do it all, and I want it all to happen now. And like I said to you earlier, like, I want it all to happen, and I know nothing will happen by tomorrow. So why am I stressing out about it? Like, there's nothing that I can do right now that's going to make all my dreams come true tomorrow. Mm-hmm. All the things that I want and all the things that I'm working for and to help people and to pull it all together, that's not all happening tomorrow or the next day. Like, just I guess they say slow and steady wins the race, and I need to just kind of think that way. And these are long-term goals that I have, so it's very unrealistic for me to even think that, I need to do it all in one day. But then I look at it, I'm like, yeah, but I could have sent this email, or I could have called this guy, or I don't know.
Yeah, you can't dwell on the things that you didn't get done today, and that's why I tried to make it a point to you to actually recognize the things that you do accomplish in the course of a day. And to take it even a step further is, I said, what an unproductive day is? Think about before you were sober. Think about 2 years ago. 2 years ago today, what were you doing? And we did that.
Yeah,
we did that, remember when kind of thing. And I was like, now that is an unproductive day. And just to recognize and celebrate who you are and what you have accomplished today, and that living life sober is, that in itself is a blessing, So, and like you said, I mean, things don't happen overnight, and that's okay. But the little things and the lists, love lists. I love them. I even put stuff on lists that I've already done and scratch it off just because I want to make myself feel better. It works.
Yeah, it's about tricking that brain and, thinking how you want to think. And that is huge. And accomplishments. And you get dopamine by completing tasks. You really do. Mm-hmm. And so, writing that stuff down, and maybe that I'm just not getting clearly I'm not getting the satisfaction of crossing the off my list, so I'm not feeling like I've done it. Have I completed the long-term goal? No. But am I completing tasks on that list that are going to get me there? Yeah, I probably am, but I just don't see it because I'm not writing them down. And, I didn't lay around today and watch movies like you said. I wasn't sitting there drinking all day, watching stupid TV shows. No, didn't do any of that today, so... but we did watch a movie, mm-hmm. and that was pretty interesting. But and we're going to get to the Backcountry. I'm just so excited about this Backcountry movie and to review it. But when you had mentioned, though, earlier, like, where were you at, 2 years ago? It was just like, wow. And, oh, man, that was such a...
It took you a minute.
Yeah, I remember I just got out of a treatment center, and... I thought that I had figured it out. I was so close because that's when I had realized that my feelings were causing me to drink. I was running to the bottle because of how I was feeling. And that was the first time I had really, really come to terms with that. And, they would tell me, in treatment centers and my therapist, well, if you're feeling this way, if you're feeling angry, you need to, exercise and, get that out, and it made sense at the time, then it made sense. Oh yeah, I'll go work out. I'll go for a walk. I'll, go do this and do that, and all that energy will, it'll make me feel better. But it did for like 10 minutes, but the problem was still there. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize. You can go run, you can go work out, but you got to deal with the problem. You have to deal with the actual feelings mm-hmm. and what you're going through. I was angry. I felt betrayed by the woman at that time in my life, and I had never really felt that way before. And so it was very new, and it was very hurtful. It was hurt, And I really needed to just sit there and deal with it. And I should have made a pros and cons list, but I was forcing that relationship, and it should have never happened, but it did. And I learned from it not to force relationships and to let them happen naturally, and not just because, if it doesn't work, it doesn't make sense, it's not going to work. Don't sit there and think, well, maybe it could if this person just changed. No, you can't wait for...
With any relationships, it's don't push them because, you're wasting your time. You'll end up going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, you can't wait for somebody to change. That's just dumb. And you can't change anybody.
Right.
So waiting for people to change, you're just going to wait forever and going to get the same results without really even thinking about it. So after that, though, I ended up going to the mental hospital. I think that's what they call it. Is that what they call it? They're the psychiatric unit?
I guess it depends on where you're at. But.
Yeah, I don't remember what they called it, something like that, where they were like, you can't leave. And that was an eye-opener. And I was supposed to start school in that semester. That's how I remember it was 2 years ago. Because I missed the first week of classes, and then I had to explain to my instructors that I had been away. Mm-hmm. And I had to get a note from the hospital, and I remember it was such an ordeal. And mentally, I think I was just spent. I was fried. And I know my mom had to help me out a lot with that. And I just didn't know what to do. I was overwhelmed. The anxiety was just crazy. Just thinking back.
You're getting all worn out just talking about it.
Just stresses me out. I'm so glad and so thankful that I am not there today. You're right. So even when I have these days where I feel like I didn't accomplish everything, it's still not even close to the days that I've had in the past and where I was really unproductive. So sometimes it takes what it takes, I guess.
Yep.
But so real quick though, onto the movie Backcountry. So I didn't realize what this movie was about. We were picking movies because that's what we did in bed tonight. We're like, hey, let's watch a movie and then we can review it on the podcast. So we did. And it took us a little bit to find a movie.
Yeah, we were flipping through movies for 15 minutes or so.
I wanted to watch the Stanford Prison Experiment or whatever.
And then you wanted to watch The Human Caterpillar.
No, you wanted to watch The Human Centipede. You were like, well, I'm game.
Caterpillar sounds so much better, but it was very gory.
Yeah, The Human Centipede. I showed her the trailer. I've seen this because I saw it in South Park. And I was like, what? I was like, this is crazy. And then I'm like, one day I was flipping through movies and was like, well, this is a real movie? And I watched it and thought, there's a second one? I think
ridiculous.
Yeah, but you were like, wait a minute, because you watched the trailer and I think you finally put it together when they were all laying there at the end. You're like, what? Huh? And I had to explain, they sewed the lips to the booty.
Yeah, that's enough.
And then one's feeding and then it goes to the third person. And yeah. So then you were like, well, I guess, you were game for it. You're like, all right, well, yeah.
You're like, I watched it. And I was like, what?
You're like, yeah, let's see that.
I don't know. I don't see how it would appeal to anyone, but it's a twisted ass movie.
And then I almost picked that movie Choose, but it seems like I've seen that too, and it was like a knockoff of Saw or maybe a spin-off or something, but
didn't we watch that movie Would You Rather?
Oh, I think some of it.
Yeah, we watched some of that one.
I wouldn't mind going back and watching some of that one again.
That was a good movie.
Did you finish it?
No, but the part that I watched, it was good.
Yeah, they all die at the end. Who knows? That's what I say about every movie. But so, all right, so we land on Backcountry, and I started watching the preview, and I didn't make it very far. I'm like, yeah, that looks good. Again, between our choices there. So I was like, okay. So we watch it. And then we pause it for a minute and then come back to it. And you say something about the movie with the bears. I'm like, what are you talking about? And you're like, that movie you're watching, it was about bears. And it said man-eating bear. And, of course, blind, so I couldn't really read that in the description. So I'm like, oh, okay. So then, as I play the movie